Hey, this is Scott Hicks, and welcome to Top Operators, the HVAC 1%. In this podcast, we're going to be talking to one of the most interesting people I have had the pleasure to meet in this space. What a great story he has. This is Tim Alagushov of Irbis Heating, Air, and Plumbing. And he not only has he and his partner taken their company from two men to $20 million in 7-ish years, 6 to 7 years, which is impressive enough. But Tim has an interesting background, and I've never talked to anybody who's come to the industry from this background before. So I'm really excited to have him on. Thanks for being here, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Scott, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's tell me a little bit about Irbis first, and then we'll talk some more.
Yeah, Irbis, it means snow leopard in our Central Asia countries. Me and my business partner, I'm from Kyrgyzstan, and Vadim, my friend, my business partner, he's from Kazakhstan. And we have mountains connecting our countries, and snow leopard habits there. And we named our company because we are from there, and snow leopard habits and a high altitude survives very different temperatures. It gets hot, it gets cold there. So it was pretty cool concept, and we also support snow leopard conservation. We have San Francisco Zoo here. We are working with them right now to support their program. They breed snow leopards since 60s, 90s,
Oh, that's
60s.
terrific.
Yeah, this animal's extremely rare. They're majestic. And yeah, this is where it started from.
So what year were you founded? Was it 2019 or 18?
Yeah, started in 19, yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that, how you guys got started
Um, so we were roommates. I was working on my own things, but he was a technician during that time. And then he was offering me to be his helper. So we were installing air conditioners together. And then we got an idea to start our own company. I did some research. I checked the competitors, and I found a huge gap. So we decided to fill the gap and start this company. And the first year, we got a few technicians, few more trucks. We just started two of us. We were like for 1 or 2 months just working, two of us. What's good that I'm actually a marketing graduate. I had good experience in marketing. Vadim was an amazing technician, so I was getting leads, handling customers, dispatching, and Vadim was the one who goes there, do the repair or replacement. So we were a very good combination, and then we started just growing from there, and by the first year, we got 100 reviews on Google, Yelp, and in 2020, COVID hit. It was a massive demand, and some companies they had slow, but and they moved to our company, and from there we started expanding like twice, almost every year.
Right.
And everything is the same, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's sort of a dream start. Although you and I have talked previously, and you talked about some of the early challenges you had. But I want to, before we talk about that, and I'd like to, you mentioned something about finding the gap when you did your research. What was that gap, and how did you address that?
So I checked the companies. So I made the list of competitors. I found like 3, 4 companies around. There were more, but it was already enough. So first of all, I did some kind of market research, and I figured out that it was a company with very high prices and good service, based on their reviews. And then it was a company with cheap prices and good service too. So I didn't find any company with amazing, incredible service that can be priced in the middle. So we got this kind of gap in the market, And then uh, during that time, no one was sharing prices. So even some companies, they practiced kind of profiling client and setting certain prices for certain people. So it was pretty much a lot of shady things in the industry. And
Hmm.
we just we put all prices, made them transparent. I was able to give, I mean, approximate price was like 80%
Sure. Yeah.
accuracy, but it already gave us a huge advantage, and it it helped us to build trust and transparency from the very beginning. That's why I was winning all the leads, because I was the one who's answering the phone, answering all the leads, booking them, making
Hmm.
sure customers happy. I was fighting for their satisfaction with the technicians, sending them back, and eventually, combining all of that, we were pretty unique service provider during that time. Uh,
So I'm guessing that you were getting some feedback from your clients or the people you talk to who might become, were going to become your clients, that about the transparency or the lack of transparency with some of the other companies. Is that, did it just reinforce your idea that you guys were on the right path by being as transparent as possible with your pricing?
yeah, even the same right now. We do have now way better ways to provide prices.
Hmm.
We have online tools that you can use and get your estimate. But yeah, it's still kind of the same. So that's why I'm saying the way we're kind of the same. We're just making sure that the way how I handled customer in the beginning, um, everyone else can keep the same level of customer care,
Hmm.
uh, you know, um, and we're just making sure that other techs can do the same level of service for customers, like Vadim did in the very beginning. That's
Right.
the biggest now kind of um,
Yeah.
uh, goal, to keep the same level of the quality of the service.
Right. And that, I mean, that's a big thing. There are a lot of folks out there who definitely talk about the quality of service, but not everybody is able to maintain it, the way they'd like to. So that's a great thing. So let me. Here's the interesting thing for you, and you and I again when we talked earlier, we talked about this: the fact that you come from uh, the marketing background or having a marketing degree, and so you approached building this business in an entirely different way. The vast majority of people come from the service side, and they're finding their own gaps and how they can do things better, and they start their own companies. So tell me more about your marketing background and how that made it a little different for you guys in the beginning.
I actually, not just marketing. When I was at school, when I was getting my degree, I was working part time for a company. I was managing a product. It was a new product, so I handled launching the product, working with the supermarkets, putting it on shelves. I was doing social media.
Mhm.
I was getting paid $100 a month for that job. Yeah. As an intern, in being in school, I had free lunch with them. But yeah, I was handling the events. I was doing promos. I got pretty good experience there,
Right.
having on-hand experience. Other than that, I was actually a dancer too. I was break dancer, so I was hosting events, teaching
Mhm.
kids to dance. So I had pretty much various experience, and all of that really helped us when we started, because in the beginning you do everything by yourself.
Yep.
You have to know how to improve the product, how to find your audience, how to target them. All of these things really helped me to shape our service, so we
Mhm.
became kind of very different than any other competitor.
Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And that's I think that's definitely a challenge that I've found when I work with other HVAC business owners about they're not coming from that marketing background, so they understand it less, and that's really obviously a big part of your success was coming at this with two halves of a whole. There, you with the marketing side, and your partner with the technical side. So when you started out, like you said, you were doing all of the so much of everything. And if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind focusing on the marketing a little bit more because again, that's something we don't get to talk about much. But what did you try in the beginning that worked, and what did you try that didn't work, and maybe what are you still doing today that you started with?
Um, the number one thing, whatever I do, I see that there is the same pattern. Is to first of all understand the other side, what they actually want to get.
Hmm.
To put yourself in their shoes and forget about your side and be
Right.
completely. So this is where I got this idea of posting all the prices and because everyone, a lot of people, especially in our area, we are in Silicon Valley. Many people come in and out. There are a lot of foreigners. They may never had any experience dealing with service provider.
Hmm.
They even never lived in single family home with this layout. So many people, they are curious, like how you work, how you charge, and people want more information. And this is where we started, giving all the prices and providing as much more information up front
Hmm.
as possible to give them peace of mind. So this is number one. You have to put yourself in other shoes and think what will make them happy and what will make them to choose you than other people, other
Hmm.
companies. So this is number one pattern that I always do. Whatever any marketing channel I launch, whether it's social media, the billboard, I always think uh, the receiver part and
Right.
from their satisfaction point and think from the very beginning, from very end, whenever they get this problem, how they will address this problem, where they will go, what information they will get. Then where like the whole customer journey, you have to go through that and work
Hmm.
on every part of it to make sure that all this customer journey will lead to you exactly, and they will get what they want. And even more, they will leave you a review and they will invite their friends and they will become your advocate and your
Right.
lifetime customer. So, in order
So
to all of that, you have to be very detail oriented.
yeah, so you were mentioning the reviews a couple of times, and again, you and I talked briefly before this. So that was part of your plan from the beginning to actively um, solicit reviews from your customers. Is that right?
Oh yes, like getting reviews is still significant part of the process. What we did, we created the culture where review has you have to get the review. It's the same part of completion the job as head driving the van. I mean, of course, you can get all the time, but that's the only mentality. That's the only way when you can get reviews consistently, where you have a system and you have technicians who are um, working to get the review as a part of completion the job. It's not something extra, but it has to be there. And there are ways where you can actually sort negative reviews if people leaving like you can establish system where even people want to leave you a bad review, you can catch it, you can address the problem, and at least to turn it into a 4 star. 4 star is not that bad too. It can go there. And that's kind of the process we built in the beginning, and now we try to preserve it. Very
Yeah.
difficult, but it is possible.
Yeah. No, it's that's fantastic. I think, and again, my experience, people who have tried to add that on as a later thing with their technicians, it's a little more challenging. But the fact that you guys started with that from the beginning and said this is part of the job, this is part of the process. We have to do this every time. This
Yeah.
is the last item on the checklist, so to speak.
Yes, and
That works
thing
well.
another thing, we actually do not use a review as a word at all. We focus on a feedback. This is what you do when you finish
Ah,
the job. You say, "Hey, can I have your honest feedback about my job?" Um,
okay.
Most people will say, "Yeah, it's good, kind of, thank you." And then, do you mind to post it online? Can you do Google or Facebook?
Hmm.
It can help me a lot. They're gonna say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, let me finish my things. I'm gonna do that." You're gonna say, "I'm sorry, can we do it now?" They They're gonna say, can I do it later? Then you say, you know what? I feel that you are not happy about something. Can you tell me honest? I'm working day to day to improve my service, to make sure that other clients happy. Maybe I did something not good. And here they can open up. And eventually, by gentle push, you actually can get like out of 10, at least 6, 7, uh,
Right. Yeah.
you can get those
But
reviews.
I mean, I think that's great. First of all, the fact that you're calling it feedback instead of reviews,
Yeah.
that's massive. Just a change of those two words right there. So I'm guessing also, well, we talked about this previously that about hiring and keeping the right people, but it seems to me like you have, as part of your hiring here, you're going to get people, or you're going to be looking for people who are really serious about getting that good feedback, about providing a good service to the client, not just doing the job well, but making sure that your customers feel taken care of. Would you say that a lot of your technicians are like that, or?
Um, you mean how you kind of make the service outstanding, right? Is that the
Yeah,
question?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, there are first of all many points where you interact with your client. It's very important from start to finish, at least everything on a good level, you
Mhm.
know, already. If you already like having good communication, like you fixed it without recalls and your prices, like you explained everything, it's already great actually,
Right.
that's the thing in service-based business. I mean, even us, we deal with a lot of negative, I mean, not a lot, but it happens. So,
Sure.
so even if everything is good, it's already good. So like, congratulations, because in the reality, many service companies have a lot of issues. However, there's one thing I teach, at least our CSRs and technicians. I mean, try to make every interaction like it was the best ever, there are always something you can do uh, that can elevate the experience of the client to the next level. For example, if you're talking to a client and they call to cancel, you can, and they mention certain reason for a cancellation. For example, I need to talk to my wife, I'm waiting for her to come back from home. Or for example, I have a tenant and they're late. You can offer what? Can I contact your tenant to help you with that, right? Can I do something to help you to deal with this situation? And
Right.
when you are very present and you really listen to the person, especially when you're at their home, you always can find certain things to do, um, like differently, that can bring that can bring different experience to the client, where you actually genuinely care about them. And
Hmm.
when you, of course, it's not all the time you will be able to catch something like that,
Sure.
but when you strive to make every interaction the best that you ever had, better than previous one, and when you keep your eye on this, most of the time you will bring amazing experience, and people genuinely will be thankful to you just for being incredible human being and trying to do everything to help them, even you don't have to, like you have job. um, Especially in United States, where everything is like transactional, most of the things.
Yeah.
And when you just see that person is really caring about you, even when you do something wrong, but when you handle it with with like passion to keep the client happy, when you have this kind of very positive goal behind you, when you never show your attitude, you don't roll your eyes,
Mhm.
you never show that you're exhausted or something, but you have this good attitude towards resolving the problem, people will always appreciate that. And this is what we teach people, also we also try to hire people who genuinely can do that. There are really people that don't care, and you will never be able to teach them how to care. So we always try to hire people who actually will follow our kind of how to say, our ethics, and
Mhm.
the the standards that we set here.
So, is there a way that you filter your applicants to find those qualities in those folks? Do you? I mean, there's
Yes.
personality tests. There's a million things out there. I'm wondering how you do it.
So overall, we do have a system that sorts all, receives all applications, and then we get their resume. They answer some questionnaire. That's kind of the first stage, and the second stage, they answer two questions on a camera
Mhm.
that things pop up unexpectedly, and you already can get a lot of information during there. And if they pass this two um, rounds,
Mhm.
then you watch them manually and you select people who you want to interview, and then you invite them to the office, and then that's number three. And if you need another one, usually through four kind of stages, you kind of can get those people eventually.
Right. So I'm I'm again. This seems like with such a focus on providing outstanding service to your customers, you probably get quite a few referrals.
Oh yeah, referrals were actually one of the biggest channels in the very beginning. People were referring a lot to each other. Um, right now, I mean, we said the marketing that all referrals should go through one channel referral.
Mhm.
I think they are blended. Many referrals they call to our main line, and we can figure out whether they actually referrals. But yes, still referral is a big thing, and actually referral is the most underrated marketing channel, and
Mhm.
many contractors do not really handle them properly to get out of everything from the referrals.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think, having been in the business for a while and just being a business person, any referral is there's somebody who's warm and already amenable to working with you. So I think you're right. We absolutely people they should treat them better than that. So they should always be thinking of them as like, hey, this is a golden opportunity. Um, so about some of your other marketing efforts, again, because we are both marketers, I'm really curious about. Tell me something that didn't work that you tried that didn't work.
Um, with the marketing, what didn't work, giving, I mean, it's not just marketing, it's cross sales. But first, we were very cost friendly. We had very like good prices, not cheap, medium. But then like as market was going up, we became a little bit on the lower side for prices. And we thought that it's gonna bring us more job, but in fact, it brought us more difficult customers. So shortly to say, when you give more discount you provide, client will demand more from you. Uh,
Hmm.
so trying to win by the price will not work really. Maybe in the very beginning when you're just growing and you just need to survive, you're not gonna pick cherries. But when you are on a certain point, lowering the prices and trying to win by the price is not gonna work. Then Google Ads will not work for you if you do not work with someone who actually is very experienced and has already successful accounts running. Then trying to run by yourself, like Facebook ads, I mean, by creating campaigns, like
Hmm.
thinking that, oh, you know what, like it's going to take just a few hours. I can do that. I don't recommend that. It's not gonna work as well. I tried by myself just to test it out, and then
Hmm.
I saw that I actually have marketing course for business homeowners. So if you guys interested, you can check it out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I provide a lot of examples there. But I have a lot of business owners. They text me with their questions, and they all of them trying to do certain difficult things by themselves. One
Hmm.
guy grew up 15,000 on Google Ads, trying to handle by himself, and he's complaining like, "Oh, how come you making 10x on your Google Ads? You know, I just blew up 15,000." I'm like, dude, because you do it by yourself, and I have a professional who is running it. Like, yes, I mean, I manage all the in terms of the strategy, make sure that the ad copy is good, make sure that the landing page match. I mean, the strategy is behind me, but actually setting those campaigns and monitoring them and providing reports. I mean, don't do it by yourself. Better get a professional. And the same is meta ads. A lot of people burn a lot of money on meta ads.
Yes.
If you go to meta ads with $69 offer banner, never will work. But this is what kind of companies still do, you know. I just check
Yeah.
on my feed and like $88 tune up, $29 tune up. People still do that. I don't believe it worked because we did that. It didn't work. It took
Right.
a lot of time to figure out the good formula for paid ads.
Mhm.
Shortly to say, as a business owner, don't try to run with your hands every little piece. Better get a professional and learn how to manage those professionals.
Right. Yeah. I, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there are so many different disciplines in marketing, especially, and even just within digital marketing to, yeah, you have to have a team that actually includes people who are good at all the individual pieces. So again, I couldn't agree more with you on that part. Um, so you at what did you so you didn't start with everything in house though, but you ended up bringing it all in house. Was there like a threshold that you passed where you were like, okay, I need to stop with the agencies and start bringing in some experts under our roof here to work with directly on this marketing?
Yes. So, I mean, when we started, I didn't have good knowledge about digital marketing. So, I mean, running the company, I actually learned 80% of what I know now. In the very
Mhm.
beginning, I mean, it's good that I had good intention. I was detail oriented, so I was exploring. But the point where I figured out that we need to grow, where I figured out how things work, and I saw the gaps, and I asked them to fix those gaps. I asked them to provide me certain reports. I wanted to know the cost per job booked. I wanted to know cost per sold job. I want this frequency, and I want the like this kind of the way how ad groups and ad and campaigns connected to each other. I don't want stock pictures on any of landing page. So when I started giving my requirements, and they started falling off, and I was just starting replacing, trying to find someone who can actually do what I'm asking for. And the
Mhm.
thing is that I didn't ask for anything super complicated. I believe that marketing still has a lot of room to grow. I mean, I'm not sure about other countries, but even in US, where the marketing was created, I think the level of marketing here is on not on the decent level, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of people, and many people even can't run certain like basic reports. You know,
Mhm.
uh, they give you some like how much you spent, what's the cost per lead, but there are way more other important data that you have to track. And 80%, I would say, you close to 90% of agencies, they still don't know how to run reports properly.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point. Um, so again, your journey is a little different because you have a basic understanding of marketing. What advice would you give to someone who really knows nothing about marketing? So they've started a company, and let's just say they've been somewhat successful with their HVAC company, but they just don't really know anything about marketing. I mean, would your advice be the same, or how would you recommend that they educate themselves enough so that they know what to look for in either hiring marketing people or hiring or outsourcing their marketing?
First of all, to study marketing by yourself from professional marketers, not from successful contractor. There are right now so much of them who sold their companies, but I'm not sure if they really actually handled marketing. Maybe they got good agency and they got lucky,
Hmm.
everything worked out.
Right.
But you cannot trust it. You have to read professional books, at least like the principles of marketing, the Kotler. You need to know like the purple cow. You need to know what is disruptive marketing. You need to watch on YouTube digital marketers running their blogs, and start from there. And from there, you will start connecting the dots. And
Hmm.
this regarding like everything. You need to learn to learn from people who are actually experts in that field, not
Right.
from someone generic. Like there are a bunch of people like Alex Hormozy, Grant Cardone going into home services, even though they
Hmm.
never did anything in home service. I would not recommend to go that route, but instead to work with someone and learn from someone who is actually expert in that thing, in that industry, and actually has experience. And learned from other kind of similar, marketer, but maybe from different. For example, Steve Jobs, just listen to his lectures,
Yeah.
how he came up with the iPhone, that he had kind of very, very simple way of thinking. And sometimes the most complicated things are actually simple and right in front of you. We just can't see them because, for various reasons. So that's
Yeah.
why studying is the number one thing. You will, if you when you don't know something, it's hard to understand. You're trying to guess, you're trying to listen, but there is a point where you know everything. Like you can nail it. You can know exactly why this campaign didn't work. You
Right.
can get all the answers laid out, but to get to that point, you will have to study it a lot, and you have to have experience going through all this process. Yeah, so that would be my number one advice.
That's great. That's great. I mean, really, I don't think I could have said it any better, honestly. Um, so a couple of other questions, and I can let you get back to your day. One of the things we talked about, there are a couple of things in the industry in general that people have challenges with. Again, one of them is hiring and keeping good people. So we talked a little bit about your hiring process. How do you keep your people? How do you keep your technicians, your CSRs? How do you keep them happy and engaged? And how do you keep your turnover low?
Yes, we actually have very, very rare cases when people leave. However, we had three amazing techs left, like within the last 2, 3 weeks. It actually woke me up a little bit. And I figured out that, even what we do is not really enough to keep great people. But so what we do first to have this kind of low, when people leave, first of all, of course, you have to pay more. If they're good, like money will be always number one thing they're gonna think about it, together
Mhm.
with benefits. Kind of, I do have kind of this kind of strategy. Like for example, you ask, "Hey, how long is it gonna take you to complete this task?" They're gonna say, "Oh, okay, 5 days." And then you're gonna say, "What if I do this kind of bonus and you do that within 3 days?" Just for example, so
Mhm.
you reward and at the same time proportionally push people to do better.
Sure.
And rewarding people for doing right things is very important. We practice it, but one thing not to become too much, so people become like expect reward for everything outstanding. You have to be very, very careful to balance it out.
Yeah.
uh, Number two thing, we all want to have a good life. Whatever you do, there are things that you can may improve to keep the day better. For example, we have our service techs, when they arrive to the job site, they take picture of the label, post it in Slack, and the other guy will shop around for the parts. He's gonna get all the information for the tech when he backs from the attic, like to when he needs to build the options. He
Hmm.
already all the prices. So he doesn't need to stay on the line with the supplier, wait for them. There are a lot of improvements you can do. Or for example, our trucks, they're nice and clean. We help them to maintain them. It's a pleasure to drive these nice trucks. Then we have office, very beautiful, with couches, with lunch area. So people are just happy just to go back to office, sit around, like uniforms, giving them working phones, iPads, making sure all these things, provide them the charger in the van, doing some companies event. Our supplier, they give us tickets to, so they host like trips across the world, and based on our sales they give a certain amount of tickets, so we all give them to our employees. So they go like to like Fiji, they go to like different islands, they travel.
Wow.
And sometimes we do like voice for Vegas, we send 10 installers to like Vegas for the weekend. And was all like you have to keep the life busy and active,
Sure.
so people actually have life where they work, and this is actually really helpful. And I found that doing all of that, we are very, very like ahead of other companies. Some other
Mhm.
company, for their like Christmas, they make employees buy presents to each other and play this game. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, dude, like, you, you get
Sort of
on it.
the forced camaraderie. No, you know what? I think once this goes out and other people hear about what you're doing, you might get some more applicants than you can handle. Uh,
No, I
which, yeah,
also, no, we're growing. Like, what text we have, we grow. Like, no text, there is nowhere
yeah,
to grow. So yeah,
yeah,
this is the thing, very important. And then we keep internal competition.
hmm
People know how much that guy sold. So we have scoreboards, everything's visible to everyone. So we keep competition, internal competition, so people see how other people progressing.
right.
And then we always do weekly meetings and trainings with every department. And we always try to bring people from factories, from, like today we had training from with SPAN, smart electrical panels. So they came, presented the new product. We have
hmm
engineers from Carrier. We have people from RIM coming in, technicians. They are very motivated when they are dealing, who's like engineers, with professionals, with official representative from the brand that they actually go and sell. Now, this is
Right.
important, and we try to keep every week full of this kind of events.
Oh, that's great. So, last question, and this is I guess kind of a big one. The private equity has been a big thing in most home services, HVAC in particular, the consolidation and purchase of companies. Is that something that that you were thinking about at any point, or are you just interested in growing Urbis as much as you can for as long as you can?
So when we started getting approached by a lot of PEs, we just decided just to try it out. Because I didn't know what EBITDA is until like recently, even. I mean, no, like we were building the company. We just build it to the point where like we're actually working as a company. We have like HR, like all this kind of things.
hmm
Uh, we just built actually the company. We just grew, yeah, pretty quick, but we were building it, and like until recently. So basically, right now, an interesting thing is that whether you want to sell your company, whether you want to keep it, you will have to make profit on it. Like
Correct. Yes.
50%, like around is great if you can do 20 net profit, at least 10, but around 15%. And it's good not just to sell your company because you're going to get your multiples only based on the EBITDA, but also this is a sign that you actually have a healthy business.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if you're not in that area, it's just a ticking bomb.
Right.
Uh, so that's why right now for us important is to work on our margins, net, and to keep processes properly. And whether we want to sell after that, or we want to keep it, or we will see down from there. But right now we're not there to think about selling or not.
Right. Well, that's great. I mean, you obviously have a great business here. I love the model, everything you've talked about and everything you've done. It's just some solid business advice for anybody who's in the HVAC
Mm.
industry, or even, a lot of this is it goes across industries. I mean, you could build other businesses exactly like that, with that sort of focus on great customer service, great marketing, great systems, great people. So, Tim, I want to thank you again for being here with us today. This has been fantastic. I know our listeners are going to get a lot of great information out of this, and we really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much, Scott. It was great to meet you. Let's be in touch, and
Yeah,
everyone for watching.
absolutely. Thanks again.